G'day guys and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a build run through of the XR6 Turbo as it's getting close to it getting tuned, so I thought I would run through the list of mods that I'm going to be doing to the car just so you guys can follow along at home, and also so you've got a bit of an idea if this is something that you want to do to your XR6 Turbo, yeah, just have a bit of information about what the go is. So let's get into it. Alright, so first off, let's start with what the car has. So the car is fitted with a 3.5-inch X-Force exhaust. If I was to buy an exhaust again, I probably wouldn't go X-Force. I had one on my old FG XR6 Ute, and it was a really good system actually. It didn't sound shit for a naturally aspirated 6-cylinder Barra, which, you know, they don't generally sound too good, but in that Ute, that system sounded really good, and I was pretty happy with it. Although on the turbo it just doesn't fit up as well as it could. It's a bit too big. Well, I'll just say it's a bit too big. It's probably been bent wrong and just doesn't fit the rear diff cradle as well as it could, and it rattles, and currently my solution to fix that is to hold it up with zip ties at the moment. Although moving into the future I will go take it to an exhaust joint, get probably the middle muffler removed, a smaller rear muffler, and get them to tidy up the hangers, make it a bit neater, make it fit up as it should, and yeah, that'll fix that issue. The car is also fitted with a battery side relocation, which is the Ants battery side relocation. It's pretty good for what it is. It was pretty cheap, does the job, and I'd recommend, if you go with that system, just buy your own K&N filter, as the one that they provide is probably not the best quality, but it's not the worst either. It'll get you through until you can get a K&N one. I'll put up all the prices as we go, just so you guys can follow along, and I'll do a tally at the end, so we can keep up and know the final end build cost, because I'll be interested to know as well. I haven't been keeping a tally as I've gone along, so yeah, it'll be interesting. The car is also fitted with a Process West Stage 2 intercooler kit, as well as their piping. So that's a bar and plate intercooler, and for now it's been really great. It keeps the intake temperatures 1 to 2 degrees above ambient or at ambient, and allows the motor to run a lot cooler, as my coolant temps sit about 90 to 91 degrees cruising on the freeway, and anywhere from 91 to 94 degrees when driving through traffic, and obviously goes up from there when you get into it. But apart from them few basic mods, that's it. That's all that car has. I also fitted the car with a aluminium elbow that joins onto the throttle body instead of the plastic one. That'll help when we up the boost, and it'll probably help a little bit with heat soak as well, as it won't retain that heat as well as the plastic, and it'll probably withstand high temperatures as well, which is always important because there's a lot of heat going on under that engine, under the bonnet, sorry. So yeah, that's another good little upgrade to do just to finish off your intercooler piping. So yeah, that's all that the car has. Let's move into the parts that are going to be going into it. Alright, so first off we have a Turbo Smart boost gauge, which I'll wire up eventually, probably after the tune and whatnot's done. This got sent to me by Spursbox actually. I do not recall ordering this. I just got a package one day, and sure enough it was a boost gauge, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, that's obviously good for monitoring your boost and making sure that it's boosting to what the car should be boosting to. A lot of problems arise in turbo cars of over boosting or not boosting to the correct PSI, and if you're over boosting, well, there's every chance that you'll be doing damage to your engine, and without a boost gauge you just won't know. Obviously you don't have to run, you know, a digital, mechanical, any gauge of this sort. You can go a digital sort of cluster, which, you know, can be fitted up to an OBD2 port, or if you're going down the route of, you know, putting a Heltec ECU, something like that, or even this the factory forward ECU, there is now products out on the market that can work with a digital dash readout, which can read your boost pressures and, you know, everything that's going on with the car. So that's also another really good idea if you want to go down that path, which is something that I've been considering. So coming into the future, possibly might do something like that. Now, a lot of my parts I bought from Empire Elite. They actually, they're really good. If you've got an XR6 turbo, or even Miami's, I think even the Boss 260, 290 maybe, I haven't really looked into the V8 sort of stuff on their page, but they do a lot of products for Fords, and their gear is amazing. Really good quality stuff, and at really good prices as well. So if you're in the market for some turbo stuff, you want to do a build, check out these guys, because they do some great stuff. So these, obviously, head studs. Head studs are really important when you're upping the boost to do some, you know, more modifications and you know, driving the car harder. One of the problems with pushing more boost is lifting heads. So by getting some head studs, that eliminates that problem. You can sort of get away with the factory ones for a little while, although they will stretch and you will run into issues. So obviously if you're starting to push bigger power, more boost, definitely something to get your hands on. Again, another Empire part. We have the billet backing plate. Look at that, some goodies as well. Sticker. And a nice little keyring. That's nice, isn't it? They probably know me by now, as I spent quite a bit of money. So obviously this is their Street to Elite backing plate. The reason that we get a backing plate as opposed to just leaving the stock one in there, being billet, it's harder, manufactured differently, and withstands more wear and will last longer than the stock one will. It's again a reliability thing. This will be able to withstand longer times in the car, and you won't have to worry about it you know, breaking or failing coming into the future, especially as the oil pump will probably be turning a bit harder now that you've got your car tuned. You're going to be into it a lot more. So yeah, again, another important part of your build, or at least should be, if you want to have good reliability within the engine. Now these are some Boundary Racing pump gears, oil pump gears. I bought these before I started shopping around on Empire. So anyway, these are good quality as well, made in America, and again, billet steel. So you know that they're going to last, regarded as some of the best oil pump gears that you can get for your Barra. And obviously being made in America, you know, it's good quality stuff, and their machining is on point. So Boundary do a lot of stuff for race engines, so they've had a lot of practice and time R&Ding and that sort of thing to get their products right. And yeah, they're, as I said, renowned for being one of their best manufacturers for Barra components such as oil pump gears. And reliability thing, the stock oil pump gears shatter and break because they're made out of weak steel, especially if you've got a car that has you know, quite a few Ks on it. It's getting on in its life. You're asking a lot from it when you're starting to turn up boost pressures, and when, you know, asking more power, you're asking for more oil supply. So good reliability thing, do your oil pump gears, because this is the only thing that's feeding oil into your motor. So again, another Empire part. This is their timing chain kit, and as well as sprocket made out of billet steel. Just important to have. Obviously don't want to be breaking stuff. Timing chain, obviously very important. It comes with everything you need, whole kit. Obviously chains in here. They've done a lot of R&D into the chains. They're made in Europe, so fiddling around and doing stuff to make it the strongest they can. So yeah, it's good to see that they're putting in a lot of time and effort to get these right, and from all accounts they're really good. So again, another quality part from Empire. Again, reliability, longevity. Pretty much common theme with these parts, because you obviously want to have your motor go forever, or as long as it can, without needing to be stripped down and had parts replaced. So you obviously want to spend the money and buy the right gear. So having your timing chain skip a gear, skip a tooth, or stretch or snap, or anything like that, pretty disastrous consequences for the engine, and something that will cost a lot of money. So having, again, the quality gear will keep your motor nice and healthy for the longer periods of its life. So this is their street kit. They do another one which I think is the race one or something, and yeah, anyway, it just has a couple of different parts in it, but this will be good for what I want to do. I don't need to push it too far, so yeah, this is perfect for what I need. In here we've got the Crow Cam valve springs, again, reliability, longevity. The standard valve springs are, okay, for stock power, obviously, that's why they're in there. But when you start to push more boost, your springs get a bit soft, a bit floaty, they can't handle the pressures. So time to upgrade to a bit of a heavier duty one, and yeah, that's why we do it. Not so much a engine thing, but transmission is a very important thing to think about when you are chasing more power, and a transcooler is a fantastic idea. Even if you're not chasing power, transcooler is a great idea. The stock one is notorious for failing, mixing coolant and oil, damaging transmission and engine in some cases. So deleting that, fitting a aftermarket transcooler is a really great idea. Now this one is huge. As you can see, I sort of hacked at it a little bit with the Dremel, trying to get it to fit up, but this might be a under the car jobby, full race car spec, as yeah, this is massive. This will probably overcool it. As you can see, there is 2 cores to this, some serious cooling to cool down that ZF, but that's not a bad thing. Keeping that ZF cool is very important. Yeah, they don't like to be hot, that's the major killer for them, and yeah, obviously pushing more power through it generates more heat, more friction, more wear, more failure. So yeah, keeping your oil cool is an extremely important part of it all. And this kit again was from Empire. It's just like a generic one. They have the airflow ones on there too, although I thought let's just go a big one, something different. Everyone goes the airflow ones, so I thought, let's do something else. Comes with a heap of fittings and a sensor by the looks of it, which is a good idea. A few hoses. So yeah, something to add to your list for when you're doing your build. Don't forget about your transmission. Lastly, we have our fuel system. Now this is from KPM Motorsport. This is their Street Fighter series. This is, I think it's a 1,000 horsepower kit. It comes with all the stuff that you need to do your fuel system, for your injectors. In there as well is a flow chart of the injectors, which is nice. Filter. So in here is our injectors, obviously 6 injectors. We also have our fuel filter. This is a serviceable one. As you can see, there is a thread there. You can screw this off, take the filter out, service it. This is also E85 compatible, which is what the car will be ran on eventually. We will do flex fuel tune on this, so we have the flexibility of decent fuel economy as well as power. And the fuel, the full drop-in module for the fuel pump. This just swaps over from the factory one, slot straight in, put your plug in, put your lines in, done. Saves a lot of time, effort mucking around. Obviously pre-installed with the fuel pump, which is a Walbro 525 85, I think, from memory. So it's a bit bigger than what people generally put in, which is like the Walbro 460. Again, future proofing. If we want to turn it up into the future, we have that option, which is what it's all about. You don't want to limit yourself and have to buy things twice. Buy them once and be done with it. So that's my fuel. Obviously the standard lines, they're fine for E85 for a little while, a few years, and they're good. Obviously E85 is pretty corrosive, and yeah, something to keep an eye on as you go on with the life of your tune. So yeah, the prelude, I suppose, to the tune was doing the exhaust, intercooler, piping, and the battery side relocation. It's a good base to start when you are getting ready. All that frees up flow in and out of the car, so yeah, they're very important mods to do as well. And then all of this just ties it together and makes it the complete package. So this package that I've done up here, this is good for probably 500 kilowatts plus, I would say. Obviously that's just all the parts. You need to do more supporting parts to the car rather than buying more stuff. The car, to push it to that level, would need to have a strengthened ZF and a built tail shaft as well. So those are things that'll be on the cards in the coming years. I'm just going to get the car tuned with all of this stuff in it, and I'm hoping to see it make, if it makes 340 kilowatts, I'll be pretty impressed. Good jump from stock power for sure, and the only limiting factor for the moment is the turbo, which will be what I'll upgrade next. Get it retuned with new dump and either no cat or just a high flow one. Probably just not run a cat, because you can't run a high flow one anyway, so if you're going to get done for a high flow, you might as well get done for not having one. So yeah, just free up that restriction even more by not having one, and just let the flames fly, I say. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. This is part 1. Hopefully the car is going to get tuned soon. Hopefully next couple of weeks we'll see this thing up on the hoist getting pulled apart. So yeah, very keen for that. It's going to be a completely different animal to drive. And them little wind runs, I don't know what they're in for. When I say little, they ain't little. 275s, but still. Poor high flies. They're gonna go high fly straight to the moon. That's where they're gonna go. So anyway guys, if you have any questions on today's build, on any of the parts, my decisions, or anything like that, feel free to put a comment down below. This is just my build. Take parts from this, take parts from somebody else's. You know, do what works for you, because it's your car, your build. You can do what you like. This is what I've done from recommendations from people that have had a lot of experience tuning, playing with turbo cars, turbo barras, so they know what they're doing, and also just doing my own research myself as well, which is very important. Trust people that know what they're talking about, research into their work, research into the parts they're recommending, and do your own research on your own parts as well, to come up with what works for you. Just because somebody recommends something doesn't mean it's what you need. Obviously take into consideration what people are saying, but do your own research. Because you don't want to end up with something that's going to ruin your car. So anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for part 2. Hopefully part 2 is going to be with it up on the hoist, getting a lot of work done. Planning on doing quite a few things when it's up there. changing diff oil. I'll do that, get some bushes changed over front and rear, and put the rear diff cradle bolt back in. Hopefully it hasn't snapped in there. When I first bought the car, I was under it, realised it wasn't in there, so hopefully it hasn't been snapped. The diff bushes were changed when I bought the car, so I'm just hoping they forgot to put it in, because otherwise it'll be a rear diff cradle out, and remove that snap bolt and get it fixed up. So hopefully it's not that. So anyway guys, I'll see you in the next video with hopefully this thing up on the hoist, getting some mods done. So stay tuned and I'll see you for that one.